is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I represent Bahamian people. I from Nassau, Bahamas, big up Bintan, bro. Boy, I from Bintan, bro. Right between West and Augusta, where them two roads meet, they call it Wilkinson Street. Manners and respect was like a sign blank check. It seems the ones that coming after quick to disrespect. You see, this life in the ghetto never easy. So many hungry days break till it grieve me. But I doing the best I can, trying to turn my dollar to 100 grand. I represent the ghetto people. I from Nassau, Bahamas, big up Bintan, bro. Boy, I from Bintan, bro. Don't take no back talk, no bribe or no joke. If you find fire, you definitely find smoke. Bintan, bro. Boy, I from Bintan, bro. Bintan, I say up and running. Caliban say my show, boy, don't ever give in. 7 years of farm and watch the crops them coming. True they see a humble thing, the lion sleeping. But they ain't for no reason. Only God that I believe in, living. Watch them only passion for a season. Godless, I go weed them. I represent.
Good night, Bahamas, and welcome to another edition of Inside the Inner City that premieres on Guardian Radio every Friday at 6:30 to 8 p.m. Telephone numbers tonight are 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, and you can text us, powered by BTC, at 422-GR96. I'm your host, Valentino, host of the talk show Inside the Inner City. And again, just a wonderful Friday to each and every one of you. I hope you're going to enjoy the show tonight. It's going to be a very, very serious topic tonight. And I just hope that, I'm going to talk about some very serious things that have been happening in the country over 40 years. And I don't think it's going to be pretty. So I'm going to try my best to see how I can explain it to you. And when I'm speaking, I'm not taking up for none of the crimes happening in the country. Okay? I've been a part of it. I've been a bystander. I've seen some of the next generation of young criminals come up in the community that I reside in around the country. And I've seen it manifest just like how we were when we were involved in illegal activities. And it'll just transcend to a different generation where it's gotten so critical, and because of the lack of interest and priority to try and address the situation where we don't band-aid this matter. We have consecutive governments who tend to do their best to their ability to try and curb the problem, but it's just basically they're doing the same tactics they've been doing for the last 40 years. And it is working to a slow extent, but based on our statistics of 100+ murders we're averaging every year, within there you can include armed robberies at a high rate. You can include sexual assault, and I'm not talking about the white-collar crime that's going on, so it's very serious in our country. And I'm going to try to explain it my best, but I want those who are listening, because some people who listen to this show over the course of the year probably, hear me speaking on matters about gangs and criminality, might feel like I'm taking up for those who are doing criminality. No, I'm trying to explain it to the general public so that we can be able to find solutions and apply it so that we could be able to have an understanding on how to deal with the crime issue in the country. Who better than me? In the country. I've worked with numerous governments over the years, coming from being a gang leader and a drug dealer. And if you look at my background, which is no excuse for my behavior, okay? I chose to do what I did. But I just want you to take this into account. If you follow my life, you would see where some planning was not made for me as an individual to come into this world. My mother and father did not plan for me, you know? So a lot of people are having children in the country and they're not planning for their children. And when they do have these children, you know, that don't mean they're mothers and fathers because they themselves don't know what it is to be a mother and father. And the child grows up in an environment that is done, how I should say, a violent community faced with high unemployment, faced with a lot of violent crimes happening in that particular country, and it just had spread all over in the country. You know, and these play a major role in how the child develop, male and female. And because of that, we have so many young guys around the country who are shooters and murderers. And then we have some who we see fighting in schools, fighting the teachers, and some standing up with their cameras watching their classmates or friend fight. You know, they're standing around, you know, and most people won't understand. That is the first sign of the future criminals. If you look at some of these footage, you see some of the kids who were involved in violent behavior 20 years ago are some of the kids now who are doing violent crimes. So it starts off with that behavior, you know, and eventually, if you're seeing them fighting police, eventually if they're fighting teachers, eventually their parents come into the school to fight the teacher because the teacher was trying to discipline their child who was very rude and stink. And this is the behavior that we have developed in this country. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So let me just give a quick detail of my life. Now, most of you have been listening to me and you know all of the great stuff that I've done over the years. But let me just give a good understanding because I feel that I've been on this radio for years and speaking to the nation, but I don't feel people really understood me when I was talking about how serious I was as a young man, as well as many other young men out there. So let me just start off with that and see if I could get it in with 15, 20 minutes. And then we could go into some other matters as we talked about hanging and then solutions. Okay. I was born in 1974 to the parents of Laurie Brennan and Bendel Brown. This is the information given to me from my grandmother and my aunties and uncle, who I love dearly. My grandmother passed away, but my auntie and uncle, Barry Brennan, Liddy Brennan, Yvonne Brennan, they were just like my mother and daddy, along with my grandmother. When I was born, they told me, said that my father in the 1970s was sentenced to life imprisonment with Queen's pleasure, and he was to get the cat 9 tail. During that time, my mom was also out there partying. Now, I'm not being disrespectful to my mom or being disrespectful to my father. Naturally, on this earth, they're my earthly gods. But the Bible also tells you, and I say, you know, what you should do. Parents don't neglect your children, you know, and so as parents, you know, my father has an excuse because he went to prison, you know, spent 26, 27 years. My mom, she was on the streets, didn't listen to my grandmother, who was a very decent, humble woman, you know, one of the greatest persons that you could ever meet, my grandmother. And my mother decided not to do what my grandmother said. My grandmother said, you know, I grew up with 7, 8 children by myself, you know. Lousy daddy, you know, he had other women and other children. He spent his time there and there, you know, and I grew all up the best I could. And she also told my mom that, look for a decent man and et cetera, et cetera. You know how these young people go, just like today. So them two end up meeting my daddy and my mom. My mom is a Brennan, my father's a Brown, but my grandmother is a Brown. They tell me my mother and my daddy were cousins. So that's why they say it's so messed up. And I am the way I am. I'm brown on two sides. That's messed up. But anyway, I was conceived. My grandmother saw that my mother at that time was a irresponsible mother. So she took me away from my mother, and she told her, because she's disrespectful, and if she's a woman, she got to try and own the key. So my grandma said, if you've been disrespectful in my house, you have to leave and go see how life could treat you. And then, she got put out. My grandma took me, and I don't think I never saw my mom as a baby. I can never recall seeing her. The only persons I could recall seeing was my grandmother, my auntie is, and my uncle. So that's hard. And she living in the community, but I never felt a hug or a kiss from my mom, not once in my life. Now she's living. So she had no time for me, that she told my grandmother this. So, then as I grew, I would normally see her passing, Lewis Green passing the house, not coming in the yard. My grandmother say, see her there? Don't listen. Now she got all her children. Now look what happened. She had some other children, and they got took from social service. I ended up meeting my brothers and sisters when I was about 10, 11 years ago. And, we ended up meeting recently, about a year ago. My sister from the States, she found me. That was the last baby. My brother and sisters, after meeting them, two of them were killed in Jamaica Road, along with a next female. So it was a triple murder. My sister was like 8, 9 months pregnant. But anyway, back to my story. So now I end up in a good home, with my grandmother, my auntie and uncle. They did their best. It's not their responsibility to take care of me. See, that's where we're going wrong in society. We think the grandmother's supposed to take care of the children. No, y'all two who open your leg and had sex, y'all too responsible. You understand? Because the grandmother and raised y'all. If she grew y'all in the right way and teach y'all what to do the right way, so when you have children, you're responsible for your child, not the grandmother. But grandmothers, they love their grandchildren, so they're going to eventually be more responsible than the parents. That's automatic. So I end up, like I said, with a good auntie, uncle, etc. But the community that I reside in was a crime ravaged area, And I'm going to say this, it's not about gangs in this country. There are many different factors playing a role in our crime problem in this country. Okay? And I'm going to explain that later. There are many factors. It ain't about the gangs. Gangs are playing a big role, but there are other roles that are playing a bigger role in the crime issue in this country, and that is the family structure. As long as the family structure is not being developed in this country, we could try all we want. Nothing's never going to change. Because a father plays an important role in a child's life, and a mother plays an important role in a child's life. An uncle plays an important role in a child's life. An auntie plays an important role in a child's life. All right? You know what I mean? And that's how life's supposed to be. So back to the story. So I ended up in a community where I can remember seeing a drug dealer. He's now deceased. So when I know about drugs, and I would watch him sell drugs to my mom and all, and the line used to be from his back gate to Market Street, now in the middle of Lewis Creek. And this is a young kid this going on in our community with the government, with the church. And I would wonder. And then as I got inquisitive, kids pick up. I said they selling crack cocaine. And I used to see my mom along with a lot of other moms and fathers in the community. And I'm not same age, and you had other young kids, who had mothers and uncles and cousins also doing drugs, right? At the same time, this is in the early 80s, 86, 87, 88, 89, and going up, all right? So I ended up growing up in the community, seeing all of the different bad boys. There were rapists, there were bongi bandits, there were aggressive police, there were different factions of criminality going on in the community. It wasn't just gangs. And then as I grew, I learned the trade about firearm. Someone teach me that, hanging around on the blocks. I started to see the bigger guys like Douglas Johnson, he's now deceased. They were a senior man around that time, and they saw me up and coming because I was very nervy. Ain't much people could have scared me. And he teach me how to load the 38 and then show me how to select the 9mm. And I was able to start getting into guns. And then me end up forming a gang in that area, Santana, Forbes, Giovanni. These were the original first gangsters in the Grandstand area. Preacher was the leader. Their brothers. And Preacher was the oldest. Preacher was one of the oldest. Then you had Santana, Giovanni. Me and Santana was cool. We grew up together, Santana Forbes. And they was the one who started the Border Boys gang. And I was just a little young rookie, but I was with the big boys. And I can remember Dr. F. Foreman giving the name Border Boys. But I want the people of this country to take note. We're only 14, 15, 16. Where are our parents? Where's the church? Where's the government? Some people would say, well, that's his choice or that's that person's decision. But this how the communities were. You understand? The parents were on drugs. You understand? And the corner that the police came strong. So it made us, it made us independent. Besides my auntie and uncle and my grandmother, I was a good person in the house. But my grandmother knew. My auntie, Lily, and my auntie Warren, they didn't know how our nephew was a terrorist because I always used to play a nice guy inside the house. My uncle was a police officer, and many times I got locked up and he was in the station. I would never say a word, and I would never mention he was my uncle. And he would never come to me and try to help me get out or come pampering me. The only thing he would come do is say, I gotta let mama know you lock up. And I used to be ashamed because that's my uncle, and I used to carry on bad in the station. I was the beast in the station. You understand? So, yeah. Yeah, so we're forming it. And then they were the first set of leaders. Then, they started to fade out, because none of them was really drug dealers. They were gangsters too. But the gang really started to form, take shape with the younger generation, And then none of them went into more serious business because they were big time drug dealers in the neighborhood. And now we got into violence. I was into violence. I was never into rape. I was never into armed robbery. I just was a violent guy. I won't meet the roughest and toughest guy from the next crew, whether he's raiders, gun dogs, wherever he is, I wanted to meet him because I believe I was the baddest in our crew. So I wanted to meet the different bad boys, different gangsters who are top gangsters just like me, with the same mentality, just like me, just like Chucky, just like Nelson, just like Bummer. We had Kelsey Lundy, sorry for calling him Kelsey Lundy, a.k.a. Scrooge. He was the leader at that time of the Rebellion Raiders. Barkley was their first original leader. And you had Plywood, you had S, you had Sluggo, you had Galen Norlich, then you had my good friend Anton Roll who got killed, then you had little Scrubber, and a few others who I can't remember this time. So we had different fractions all around, thinking the same mentality. And then guns came in. Guns were ever in, but then it got where we all started to use guns. We were all just trying to kill up one another, stab up one another, chop up one another. You understand? And this was going on all around the bombers. Someone asked me the other day, say, But you guys in the 90s, y'all ain't ready for the guys in 2024, you know? So, and this is not bragging rights behaving people. I'm not here to say which era was better. I'm just telling you from my experience. The kind of bad boys were around in the 90s, these guys in 2024 didn't stand no chance at all. The only thing happened is the country got bigger, new subdivision added, population got bigger, and then a lot more illegal guns come in the country. Then we have a lot more fatherless children, single-parent homes, poverty. Governments come out, equip the police with the latest technology, which we all know now by now that the police cannot stop crime. The police only can slow it down to a certain level, and that certain level is 100 murders per year. That means every year in this country, we're going to have 100 Bahamians or more injured, killed in the street every year, because that's the best the police can do. Because this is a national issue, unless we say to ourselves that the Bahamas is a conflict zone, and we are going to put together all of the solution plans that are already in place. And no matter who new prime minister comes in, who new minister of national security comes in, who new personnel comes in, they are going to continue in a 20-year plan to try and reduce the crime problem in this country, both PLP and F&M. If we're not going to do that, then I am trying to be very careful on where I go, who I talk to, who I mix with, who I catch a ride with. Because if you don't watch out, it could be any one of you this year. Next year, it could even be me. That's how serious this is. Because you don't have to do nothing in this country right now to lose your life. You understand? So let me give a count. So to me, the 90s was crazy, like I tell you. Murders around the time was 33, 45, 55, 65. Then going to 77. Around the time I was retired, I think that was 2003, 4, 5 is when I really started to get into the gang life and go into community activism. Right? But the 90s was crazy. You had so much bad boys out there. Listen to me. Like I tell you, I was not a murderer, but I had more nerve than the murderers. The murderers used to hang with me. The rapists used to hang with me. You understand? Because I had more nerve in them. Now, they good at murdering. That's their field. But I say anyone who was a bad boy, So I was on the General Manager show a few days ago, along with Dr. Carlos Reid. And we were talking about crime, the same issue. And, I heard Mr. Reid, when he mentioned the fact that he stated that, when we were in gangs, himself and myself, he stated that we were not trying to kill one another. Take to Mr. Reid, because I respect highly what he is doing in the country. I know what he's doing. It's a cause for it. Someone has to be in a position to let the general public know and keep the fire going to deal with the scourge of murders in our country. And he's been doing a tremendous job in the last 20, 25 years. Personally, I knew Mr. Reid. I know his father, Ping Pong. I used to see Mr. Reid come in the community, and, was a peddler, drug peddler, and he knew a lot of the bad boys in different constitutions. We personally met when he became a Christian under the tutelage of Miles Monroe. And, they came in the community to find out what the problem was and to be assistants. And they came in and they talked to me and James Charles, who were leaders. We had many leaders in Borders, but, we were the two set who had the majority of respect in the organization. Like I said, there were many other leaders, and people looked up to us. And James Charles, he went with Miles Monroe. I never became a Christian, but I was very supportive of the idea of young people, changing their lives. So I gave my endorsement for the guys to go to BFM. So yeah, Mr. Reed is doing an extremely great job. Yes, of course, when we were in days, we were in gangs, and we did wanted to kill our rivals. That's what it was all about, protecting your neighborhood. And again, the gangs that we formed were protecting our neighborhood because it was a takeover from the rebellion raiders and other gangs, and we didn't want no one to come take over our area, so we formed. That's how come we ended up forming the Border Boys, which is in the Grandson area. So that's what gangs were supposed to be. Don't let no one come in the community to break up your community and to rob the old people, and to harass the girls and stuff, because back in the day, it was very aggressive and very dangerous on the streets in Nassau in the 90s. Guys used to be walking in 50s and 100s, 200, 300s, knife, armed with nitrate, bottle, and they're drinking 40 ounce, they're intoxicated. You got 50 guys, probably 2 walking with gun, the rest walking with knife, cutlass, ice pick, and that's how it was back in the 90s. You understand? So let me continue. So yeah, Mr. Reed is doing an awesome job. So in my time, I mentioned that I was shot at 27 times from 27 different gangsters. Here's the thing. Let me explain this. These are the events that I could remember because, like I said, when you go looking for trouble and you bug these other leaders, they're just as serious as you. And then you get to find out, they're just as serious as you. You know what I mean? And they will try to kill you as well and kill you if they have the opportunity. So in that course of all the different gangs and all of the conflict I've been in, this isn't even a knife. This isn't even a knife incidents. You understand? It's just the gunshot incidents. I've been shot at least about 18 times personally from 18 different guys. Some of them guys' name I'm going to call tonight, and you can ask them if they're still living. There's some still living, to give an account, to show you my testimony. And the reason I came on this station was to explain the seriousness of what's happening in our country, the mindset of the young youths out there right now, just like how we were, their mindset was. The difference is now, they said, don't know no God, which is Yahweh. Jesus. God is Yahweh. And Yahshua, who we call Jesus. They said don't have no love at all. They're just trying to survive, and they're going to make a lot of rational, unwise decisions. And we're going to sow what we reap. I think I can remember where it was now, because this is personal. So anyway, yeah, I talked about the 18, 19 times. And I said I was going to call some of those individuals' name because I'm not a liar. I never come on this radio, never lied. Anything you heard me come in my mouth, I never lie. All the big names you hear me, I had meetings with. You never heard one time on national radio I call their names. Huh? Have you ever said? One time they said Valentino Brown is a liar. I said I was a top gangster. And I said some of the things I did. Have you ever heard the police who are listening to this radio station have ever said that I was a liar? Because they have all these things on file. You understand? So when I'm talking to you, you're talking to someone who are being in the belly of the devil. There's no one more valuable in this country right now dealing with this crime issue, if they're listening, to set up a board and be serious and committed. Because, listen, what am I going to now? What, 11? 12 days? In the next hour, someone else is going to be dead. I don't know who, and I pray to God that it don't happen, but we all know it's going to happen. So it's up to you individuals in this country right now If you have a beef with somebody in this country right now, learn from all these people who getting killed innocently. Some getting killed because they make stupid mistakes and they bury themselves. Learn from these mistakes and say, this young man here going to bother this young boy girlfriend and he's his friend, and that's why the guy killed him. This one here steal his gun from this one selling drugs, and he steal from your friends. He's one of turf walkers. This one selling drugs this way. This is only a, so you have the luck that is 11 murders right now. And this argument that you are going to hold right now, you could be the 12th one. You understand what I'm saying to you? You think it ain't gonna be you, eh? No one knows. So you have to be able to understand and take the seriousness of the 11 people who get killed in this country, why they get killed, what reason they get killed for, and apply it to your life. 10 Houston 100 would get killed last year and the year before that. That's what I did. That's why I was able to survive. I learned this watching the movie. I watching the vampire movie. So there's Dracula. So Dracula killed this next vampire because this vampire was exposing the vampires and causing the humans now to know that they're there because he want to come out and just be killing people, the old way. But Dracula's all powerful, right? And he learned that job. That time when you watch Dracula say, I'm not so violent no more and stuff like that. So he buying the blood from the blood bank. You understand? So he don't arouse no curiosity. So he can live even longer. So even Dracula, learned to adapt. So I learned to adapt too. I know if I don't give up the game, I'd be a dead man. You understand? So I learned from all my friends getting killed. So you, they will listen to the show, talk to your children, let them listen to me. Okay? Because you will lose your life. The devil is out there. So anyway, let me call some of them names. This is the dirtiest guy in the country. And he was my arch enemy. And to me, there's no one in this country who was top gangster than Marvin Bodie. He's still living today on top of Mason Hill. The reason I'm saying that is because that was my arch rival until we became good friends. And I can tell you every gangster in this country used to go up there to him. Okay? And Bodie, sorry for putting you on speed dial, but I have to use you tonight for example. All right? And he's the top. Don't mind no one else in this country. In the 90s, that man was the top. All right? Because he had everyone used to go to him. And this information I'm giving to you is more valuable than anything you're ever going to listen to. So sit down, don't call on the phone lines today. He himself shot at me with a .45 caliber gun. Those slugs was big as your thumb finger. Okay? And they probably carrying 12 shots and he emptied that clip. Okay? So that's like 24 shots he fired at me, along with a Linton Butler, who was his henchman, who is now deceased. He's now deceased. And he's the next top gangster. Who was the top gangster. And then he had two sons who were killed. And the next one is in jail. Then you had Franz Pascal from 90 Street. He was the second in command of the Raiders at that time. Kelsey Lundy, who was a good friend of mine now, and a good person now as an individual. And we were all good person, we just was misguided. Franz shot at me with a Browning 9mm. And in fact, that day, I got shot at twice. And I'm getting shoot from Mali, I forget, in front of Big One on East Street. And I ended up getting shoot with pellets. I ended up with a couple hundred pellets in me. Lucky thing for me, that was no buckshot. That's how it being finished. We loaded the gun, we used to load the gun, pellet and buckshot. So I got shot twice with the pellets that day. And then Franz came running after me. And he ended up shooting my friend all in his foot and then he shoot my cousin Chicken, who was with me, in his back. And then he came at me, and he fired about 14 shots at me, and all those shots missed me. Mind you, remember I told you Marvin Bodie and Arlington Butler shoot at me in a different time. So that's 2 incidents. Look how much shots get fired at me, and bullets just be passing by. Tell you the truth, I believe in the fairy godmother, and I believe there's an angel out there. If you're with God, God protects you, because I know I get hit. Then I had this guy, what's his name? We had the gun dogs came in. They shoot at me. No, the Sass brothers shoot at me, and then I'm shooting JP in his leg, and he ended up getting shot. They empty a clip. Guy empty a low caliber 25 pistols. He emptied with 3 clips. They were carrying with 9 small caliber shots. And then they were shooting JP Pender, who got killed in Freeport a year ago. Then I got shot out from now retired Alec up, but he didn't fire the gun. But former cabinet minister Campbell, who was a CID officer many years before he went into politics, and he ended up emptying a Uzi at me when, we ended up going to fire shots at the officers. So he responded quickly, and he emptied a clip at me, 32 shots of the Uzi. Then my friend Sonny, some guys tried to shoot me on East Street, being up taking his gun from him, a 38 caliber. And I gave him the gun because, when we take something, we share it around, you use it today and not get it tomorrow. And then Sonny was on the side of me, and I gave him the gun. And I opened the 38, and he thought I emptied the shots. And then, he, for some strange reason, again, I believe there's a guardian angel. That's why I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. You understand? That's why no one can tell me about God. No one can tell me about Jesus. I have this personal experience. You understand? So he had the gun, and then we was up in a conversation because we was up to some dirt, go plot on some niggas who did something to my cousin. So one spirit say, Scoochie, my original name is Scoochie, or Scrooge, but my original name is Scoochie. All right? So Spirit tell me, say, turn your head. And listen to me. When I turn my head, Sonny is now deceased. This guy get the 38 point at me with the gun cock. And the minute I turned my head, I was able to lift my hand just slightly and just knock the nozzle. And the gun fire off, and boy, it's a big hole in the wall. And all the guys break up running because they thought I was dead. And you could ask General Pratt this because he's still living. So anytime I say something, I'm going to give reference to someone who's living today, and they're listening. So if they're listening, they know I'm telling a lie, and they could call on Guardian Radio and say I'm lying. General Pratt still is living. He lived through Taylor Street. And he was one of the leaders also. And the gun went off. Then I can remember guy shot at me, and with a 9mm came off the back of a truck. I was sitting on the wall. Me and my cousin, Man, and my friend Sugarless. And we were sitting on this wall, so we wasn't paying attention because when you're a bad boy, you kind of lose your sense of awareness. You become so ball-prone, all the shooting and stuff like that, and all the violence, and made you so tough, with the police. So you're rough and tough, and you ain't really respond to danger the way you're supposed to respond to danger, because you get so tough. So I sat down on this wall, the S10 truck passed, and I paid no mind. And when I looked, this guy came running towards me, and I turned my head, and like I said, I was never scary. And they could tell you I never used to run from gun, I asked the people who knew me if I used to run from gun. I might run on the side, but I never used to run from gun. You know how much time I get put at gunpoint? All this happened, being people. This me. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you, and this is the truth about my life. And all this happened. And how some of these young men are built today. So let me try to speed this up so I can get the conversation on. Okay. So yeah, and then I listen, I hear click. So turning my head, this guy had a 9mm and he click again. Shot didn't go off. Fired the gun again, and so I jumped down off the wall. I said, what you dealing with? Because I had my gun in the back. So gun can't even save you. I take my gun off me because the police is hot and they already searched us earlier. So I had to take it and stash it. I stashed it because the police is hot in the area. And this is what's happening to you when you depend on your gun. The minute you take it off you, the universe is working in mysterious ways. You understand? The minute I take it off me, they put it in the back because the police is hot. And this was happening to most bad boys. And the minute they're going to sit down in front of the road, drop my guard, the devil will come. A next guy just like me. Someone who I try to take their life, now they have the life and death in their hands. And the only reason I'm not living today is because his gun didn't go off twice. And when I jumped on the wall, he cranked the gun again because it's a 9mm. You have to get the bullet out of the chamber. So I make a move to try bomb rush him. That's when the gunshot fire. And there was a pole in front of me. And I was supposed to get shot in my head. You see, because I tell you when I jump down to make a move for him, the bullet ricochet off the wall and bend the pole. And then I make a little short jog in the yard to try to get to my gun. And time as I get to my gun, this guy was done turning the corner. You understand? Then it's more I could go into detail. You know? And then the rest were gang related where we walk in the group, fight break out. And the guys always want to get the leaders. Some of those instances, my good friend Terry Marshall got shot. My cousin Julian got shot. My cousin Popeye got shot. Mario Peterson got shot. Stephen Green got shot. Keegan Kirby, my cousins, got shot in different timing. Mouche, you know, he got killed. He picked up 15. Sharky got killed. Bomo got killed. Nelson got killed. Keno Roberts got killed. And the list goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And all this is the gang boys who we come up with. And all of them are dead now. All of them who done kill somebody. All of us who hang together, plot on people's life, get our life plot on. You understand? Tell all of my friends got wiped out. And I don't learn sense before them. Because when they look at life, they say, boy, what kind of bad boy is? I might be nervy, but the other guys taking shot at me. I thought that when you're a bad boy, that people are supposed to be afraid of you and don't want to come shoot you. No, you incite more violence. And that's what's going on in our country. Okay? So that's how I live my life. And that happened in the 90s. In East Street. In Grandstand. And just that we never used to run to the police. Now, once I run to the police when guys try to kill me, because they try to kill guys too. You know? And that's how the streets was back in the day. So now we're going to get on to more important matters. So there's uproar in the country about hanging. I fully support hanging. You understand? I fully support it. But like I say, if we're going to hang, we got to hang 10 at a time or 20 at a time. You understand? And when we're going to do that, we're going to say, we're going to make it a national holiday. We're going to do the background check on these inmates who are going to get hang, which we're not going to hang. And we're going to find their family members, their kids. And before we execute them, we're going to explain to the kids why he or she is getting executed for the life they took. Then we're going to help the schools out, junior high, senior high, primary school. And then we are going to explain to them why those 10 individuals, he or she is getting hanged. Some of the most heinous crimes that happened in our country in the last 30 years, and persons responsible for it, and they are brought guilty, and they have had their 3 appeals, and And we are convinced without a reasonable doubt they are guilty. Which, it's hard to prove. Because we could make mistakes and hang innocent people. But because of the demand of the people now screaming because of all of this murder, they are in an uproar now. But these things been happening for over 20 years, so what's the uproar? Now, don't get me wrong. Don't think I'm not emotional. Don't think I don't feel these murders and stuff. I do. I just told you I had my sisters and brothers. I must be 20 cousins or 30 cousins got killed in this country or more. I could tell you, I can name about 200 friends or more who my personal friends who are dead now. You understand? So we want to hang. One last person to hang in the country is my friend David Mitchell. Like I say, I have no problem hanging, But do you really want to take a chance hanging in this country right now? With the criminals running our murder rate up to 100? It's a good solution. It's a good solution. But are we ready to suffer the consequences of the power of these individuals have with the connection they have in prison? Don't fool yourself, people. You're all living in a paradigm box. Okay? And let me tell you all something. If we don't reduce the prison population, all right, in the Bahamas Correctional, okay? If we don't properly rehabilitate those individuals in prison, because remember, 90% of them are coming out untrained and unprepared to come back in society. In our communities, they don't have no trade. They're going to sell drugs. And they're going to corrupt the community because that's all they know. And you can't blame them because the government has not found an alternative. And I'm not saying that the government is responsible. I'm saying to you that this problem has been going on for over 40 years in our country. And all we hear is from commissioners come and go that crime is done. Where the commissioner is now? Crime is never done. See, we go by statistics. When we reach January to December, right? That's 100 murders, right? This how unintelligent we are as human beings. So we're going to start over in January and say it's the first murder. Being only a number, so we're going from 1 to 100 or 1 to 90 every year, and then we're going to start over with 1 again. See, y'all ain't getting it, eh? You see how the European system has corrupted our minds? This would be our... Come on, man, check this out. We go from January to December, right? And then we say we have 100 murders. Then when January hit, we start off with 1 again. So in 10 years, we're going to do the statistics like this. And how much people are there in 10 years? If we have 100 plus a year. There anyone those who deadened from the attempted shooting, because what they don't tell you is that these double shooting and triple shooting, there are multiple people who got shot. Now 1 or 2 might dead on the scene. Then someone else would pick up corn, which I mean gunshot. When I say corn, that's the street term, right? When I say corn or hot lead. So for those who European lies, I would say gunshots, bullets, right? It's crazy. That's all we're doing. He ain't serious. So we call him hanging. My friend David Mitchell was with me before he left from here and gone to the island. He got hanged within 2 years. He was accused of killing 2 Canadian or Australian tourists back in 2000. Good friend of mine. Leave from here to go have a better opportunity, but made the wrong decision. Very wrong decision, and gave the Bahamas a bad name, and for that he was executed. Right? And from then, after the hanging, a lot of the guys on the streets who were involved in illegal activities, they started to say, boy, it's now time to get the witness. So what I'm saying to you is, unless we have a solution for the prison, then we need to have a solution for the country as a whole. And what I mean by this is this. We need training centers to be built, okay? We need the churches to go out in the communities and go to the homes on a regular basis, right? We need the parks to be active year-round. We need small business development to be incorporated in the inner city community to give people an opportunity to have the access right at hand. We need the guidance counselors in school to direct the kids in the right direction. Guidance counselors in the school have lost their edge. They're supposed to be the most vital element of school. They're supposed to be saying, you know what, you good in drawing. You good, you could be a police officer. You could be a fisherman. We need our guidance counselors now to step up even more, right? We need to pay our teachers more, you understand? We need to put trades in each and every school. And then we also need to build training centers in these inner city communities to teach our kids different trades. Then the community leaders need to be empowered in their respective community so that we can reach the majority of the at-risk kids. You understand? And the churches can maneuver along with the community and find out who the problem childs are. You understand what I'm saying to you? So if I live in Grandstand, for instance, right, and I have a connection with the pastor down there in Baintown, and I live in Grandstand, and there is a shooting involving two factions. We should be able to get the information from the neighborhood residents from both sides, and then do the survey, find out where this individual live. And when you do, you as the church, along with the police, along with social service, because the people are in need, and you go to the house. You sit down, you have a meal, you know, help them pay their electricity, and talk to the kids, and then find out what the problem is with this individual, and find the problem with this individual. And then as a church, people respect the church, you could pull those individuals together. And then see how you can work it out where you can find an alternative. Some you're not going to be able to solve. And like I tell you, a lot of the issues are not gang related. A lot of these issues are just people out of jealousy, out of rage, out of misguidedness, just making some bad decisions. It's not all about gangs. Because like I tell you, in the 90s, it wasn't all about gangs. Like I'm going to repeat again, I was a bad boy, very, very nervy. But you had guys who were way serious than me in murder and rape. These was these guys' field. But I have nerve over them because I was never afraid of them. But it's just that we took different fields in the criminality. I just was violent person, like to fight, like to see blood, and like conflict. So, yeah, I think we should hang. Let me go back to the hanging part. And I say, you know, old school, we say to each and every individual, this why, and we pop them. And then if you do this crime, this is the punishment. But tell you the truth, that won't scare nobody right now. Because as we look, we see police involved shooting where we'd have sometimes 4, 5, 6, 7 police involved shooting where police, you know, involved in fatality while officers on patrol. And then there'd be a big discussion from the public saying that, you know, the police are going around and they kill this innocent person. And sometimes it's true, sometimes it ain't true. So does this stop shooting in the country? Does when the police kill somebody, do we see shooting stop in the country? I thought the guys who toting guns would say, you know what, but that nigga just get killed. You know, the police shoot him up. And he's a serious nigga. But are you going to put down my gun tonight and go chill out? No. Shooting still going on, so it shows you that society no more do not fear the police. And let me tell you why I'm going to say that. I was never afraid of the police, but when we get catch doing illegal activity, it's a whole different atmosphere because all your power get taken away. And only the very, very rough who get catch in the system, especially when they get catch from CID and police, can still hold their man out. It means like they still be rough and tough. Only very few, Others who go in custody, they turn snitches because they can't take no beating, and these things exist, So yeah, it's crazy. And it's not going to stop no time soon because, like I said, we need a continuous program where we're going to empower in the community, in the schools, and the prison. See, and that's what surprised me about the churches in this country. Y'all talk about God, and y'all talk about Jesus, and y'all talk about all this stuff, John the Baptist, all this stuff, and y'all get a prison up there. With all these churches in this country, and all this God, and all this Jesus that you guys preach about. I don't know if that's the Jesus I praise and the God I serve, because I know what he telling me to do. I'm trying best of my ability to do what he telling me to do. And I don't have the power like you guys. I mean, I do. But you guys, have a lot of powerful people in your church. You trying to tell me now you guys can't get together to go to the prison on a daily basis and help a lot of those young brothers and make them receive Yahshua by showing them love and changing them and stop making them hard and criminals and show them love. And just all the churches need to just go up there and get together. I mean, sincere pastors. Who are pastors? I ain't talking about no disasters. You understand? If you're a disaster and trying to play a pastor, you only can put more demons in people. We need more sincere people who care to go to that prison. Not a no one-day thing. This is going to be a 20-year plan until we can get the prison population down to about 500 to 400 individuals. And that's supposed to be the job of the church, continuous. So if we work on the prison itself, pastors and the government and community leaders to work on the individuals in the prison, those who come in and check to see, make sure they see their family, help them work to be reintroduced back in society, go to the prison, stop some of the abuse that is going on in the prison. Because this comes right back to the streets, and this would affect us in this country. So I heard Honorable Member of Parliament, Opposition Leader Michael Pintat. I highly respect him, He made a comment saying we need to get the gang leaders together. I think Mr. Pintat means very well. This is not a knock on Mr. Pintat, and this is my personal experience. We did that one time ago with Sir Linden. Sir Linden pulled all us together. The first two he pulled in was James Charles and myself, and then we were able to meet Kelsey Lunley and beat them to link them up, and then we had a big meeting with a lot of leaders around the country. And we had thousands of young men to this meeting. And that's how I got cool with Kelsey Lundy. I got cool with the gun dogs because when Sir Linden had us to the table and he asked us what we were fighting for, we then had no answer. And we were killing one another, we were injuring one another. And, that's when the gang epidemic break down. But the government didn't have no solutions to what they were going to do with us. Now that we started off a little peace with the leaders, we stopped fighting one another. What are we going to do? So most of us went into selling drugs. And then the next generation come up. Now we were leading in numbers. We had numbers like I said, when I walk in the streets, sometimes I get 100, 50, 20 people walking with me on a daily basis. Junction time, going to Bay Street, me and the boys, all the leaders, Nelson, Chucky, myself, Boma, Shaki, Mouche, you all us walking together going to hell. We walking close to 1,000 guys. with females. And we in control. And we only 16, 17. And we are the most violent, most dangerous set of people you could imagine. So Michael and, Sir Lyndon brought us to the table. We met by St. Agnes. We had a meeting upstairs. The leaders, we sit down at the table. I was sitting on the side of Sir Lyndon because he really loved me because he liked my attitude. I was very respectful there. And I gave a lot of ideas to Sir Lyndon. I gave a lot of ideas to Perry Christie. I gave a lot of ideas to the Minister of National Security over the years. I've given a lot of ideas that actually legislation and been passed in this country. So yeah, Mr. Michael Pinnard, I have a suggestion of getting the leaders together. What leaders are you talking about? Gang leaders running no streets no more, man. One could run the streets no more. We were the last gang leaders running the streets. Nobody on this Nassau could run these streets. The only thing you're going to do, you're going to run it for a little while and get killed. Or you're going to go to jail for a long time. Someone's going to get you. You can't make it. So there are no more gang leaders. There are pocket of guys who, everyone that's taking turns when they get mad or altercation all around the country. Very dangerous. A couple of guys get guns. This crew get gun. This crew get gun. This crew get gun. And when there's an altercation in nightclubs and stuff like that, they can't settle the dispute. They take shots at one another. And in between, we get innocent people get killed. Gang leader running, not disarm us. Only death for you. You believe you can run this road? You ain't gonna run this road because you're gonna hurt somebody. And the town is a vigilante town. The Bahamas is a conflict zone. And let me say this, United States of America, we are the most safest place in the world for all American citizens. All the countries around the world. Canada, who come into the Bahamas, you are safe here in the country. We have a black-on-black crime wave in this country for over 40 years. And I defend my country when it comes to the tourism industry more than the Prime Minister. They take those travel advisory and don't respond. Here's why. With 100 murders last year, how many guests were killed in the country? None. Only black on black. Okay? More tourists died by traffic accident and getting bit by shark. So keep that in the equation. So for you guys, this is the most safest place for you guys to come travel. We just have a problem going on with ourselves because of politics, because of the church, and because of ourselves of not having a family structure, and we just destroying one another in this country. The woman who shot Dad, I know her from when I was a little boy. The little boy who got shot in critical condition, his father got killed a year ago. You understand? The same 2-year-old who's in critical condition. How I feel? I feel it, but I've been feeling it so much that I know these things are going to happen. So I'm not surprised to see things like this happen. And don't say I'm desensitized from it. It's just that I just know it's going to happen. When the commissioner comes and say crime is down, I look at him as old. I don't mean not the district commissioner, but when he comes on TV and he knows this is himself, because the commissioner himself most lose his life in an armed situation where he got shot. And he ain't safe if he was a big-time police. So what you think about us? And then you coming on TV and telling the news, but, bullshit, man. Excuse me, producer. I apologize. See, that's what the screw me. So me coming on this radio telling you about my life, telling you what I've been through, and telling you solutions. But y'all don't put me on the advisory board. Pay all kind of other guys who have no type of experience. There's a solution that give you a good solution. Let all the pastors get together and say, brothers, we're going to work on this prison. We have 1,700 inmates in here. And if we look at the course of history in the Bahamas, we see we had the likes of Timothy Cole, who grew me up, Samuel Mushroom McKenzie, who I grew up. You see? And many others. Eduardo Ferguson, Eduardo Goodman. That's my classmate. I'm not being disrespectful to him. He got charged for a serious crime, and sometimes, I talk about it. But he's my good friend. But I know his story as well. He have a background. Most of the serious set of criminals you could name in this country used to be with me. When you talk about Samuel Mushroom McKenzie, you hear all the noise about him this way and that way. That's my good friend. But he learned how to use gun from me. And I teach him how to be rough and tough. The majority of the guys who you see are gang leaders all about, and that's who came in the area. We used to take them to John Canoe and grow the majority of them up. It just passed on from one generation to one generation. That's why I just laugh. You talk about Raphael Nemo just come up. Rafi was a little guy. We used to take Rafi to John Canoe, and he became a leader himself. All of these guys, you can, I see eyes, he's wanted for murder. I used to take them to John Canoe. His daddy, used to live on the East Street. Not disrespectful. See, the government and the churches don't know the stuff that I'm talking about. That's why I can tell you what the problem is. This is a generational crisis, and all these people, everything's just connected. And it's going to keep on happening unless we invest serious. Training centers in the community, small businesses, opportunities where we have a small business center set up in strategic spots in the communities where we can allow people to come in, give them the proper training, money management, anger management, and give them the opportunity to start their small businesses. In between, this is going to trickle down because to tell you the truth, there's no one solution for the crime problem. This crime problem, if you're serious, it's a 20-year plan, continuous, without a new prime minister coming in and then stopping the programs. Just keep on funding the programs. Keep the training centers with scholarship opportunities. Non-stop until F&M come in. Continue. Urban renewal come in. You change all the personnel. That is fine. But keep the program going. Keep some of the key personnel who are making progress. We cannot stop. Because the lives, based on the fact that we're going to have 100 murders per year, are at stake. Yeah, and I it's crazy, man. I come from this. That's why I come on the show to explain the seriousness of what's happening in our country. And I just explained to you about the 90s and all that happened to me. But there are 1,000 stories like that at that same time that were happening. So it ain't about just the gangs. Our society is broken. Unless we start to understand that we're going to have to do some serious investment and commitments. The hell with the PLP and the hell with the F&M. We have to say, to get them to understand that we need a continuous empowerment programs to continue for 20 years, non-stop. Other than that, y'all could bring Brave Davis back as Prime Minister. 100 and some us going next year. And the year after that. And if we decide to fire him and put the Michael Pentard in power, meet up the next 100 that year, and the next 100 the next year, and the next 100 the next year. And then all of us could be going to all these funerals. Tell all of us are bitter. And then we're going to be one of the most vengefulest country in the world. And we're just going to eat and bite and claw and just kill up one another because we're too small for this. Brave Davis and Michael Pintard and Neil Ellis and this one. Oh, yeah. That for us. That for your loved ones. That for your nieces and nephews. And poverty for all us because we're too stupid. Don't realize that we have a problem. We go from January to December. Oh, then the police come on. June. Oh, crime is under control. That's under percentage. But at the end of the 5 years, we finishing with over 500 murders. Huh? Under the commissioner of police belt. And he's saying it's safe in the Bahamas. Yeah, it's safe in the Bahamas. It's safe in the Bahamas till someone get mad. And when they get mad with all this hatred we get going on right now, with all this unemployment, with this break up the family structure where all our women will be sissy now. Y'all want to take away the power from the man so the man can't even talk to the woman no more. Women will do what they want, so you're seeing a lot of women get killed now. Let me tell you why a lot of women getting killed in this country. A lot of women getting killed in this country now because they're turning sissy and they want to go up and man face who young boys, just like myself, 30 years ago, who just like with that behavior, going to them, trying to talk these young guys bad. So the guys them forget or go and try fight these guys, fight guys. So the guys them forget there's woman because they say some hurtful things. And I'm not encouraging no one to hurt no woman. I'm telling you what is happening. And you're going to say that to somebody like, oh, you? I ain't with you? I could go and go to the police for you, but you and the guy didn't go and rob and shoot one or two people. Nah, all of a sudden, your guy go to jail, he come back out, you ain't checking him no more. You're checking somebody else. And guys who come to prison, they're animals, because when they go up there, they become animals. You got to fend for yourself up there. It makes you rough and tough, just like on the streets. So you have the streets rough and tough, and then you go to prison, you get extra rough and tough. You understand the system with the prison, to work with the prison guard, to do all the smuggling, then you're going back on the street in your community where you have your little 1-2 going on. So the woman them more hot, guys ain't respecting them more. So guys shooting and killing them too. Because we fail to understand that we're turning woman in this Bahamas to be more manly instead of be woman. The woman them come rough and tough like the guys. Girls, woman in the bar, mothers in the bar, drinking big 40 ounce, smoking the biggest joint, wearing the shortest set of skirt, sharing everything. The children home or the children in the club with them, and they saying, ain't no 50-50, Woman doing man so bad right now in this country, And then you're going to have the woman raising the child, the male child. But she ain't know what you're doing to the man. She have a male child, and what she doing to that same man or any other man involved in life is going to come right round to her son, and then a woman is going to do the same thing to her son, and this is what is going on. Then we're going to have a lot of unwanted children with their parents who have no plans for them. They're just going to the nightclubs, having sex, find somebody, have sex, get pregnant. If the guy don't meet the criteria or the guy could be married, you ain't even find if the guy married. You don't even find if the guy get a girlfriend. For example, you go to a nightclub. How could you go to a nightclub and meet somebody in a nightclub? Each person who in the nightclub have somebody. So if you go in the nightclub to have fun and you say you're going to meet somebody and talk with them in the nightclub, you don't know if they're married, you don't know who their boyfriend is, or if he's a jealous type. You understand? And then you put yourself in these positions. And then you have children. And then the man can be married. And then you go have sex with this man. But the man ain't want his wife know. So he ain't going to be able to take care of the child. And then you're going to get mad. You don't want to talk to him. So the child grow up without a parent. And who's the cause of it? because you only have no plans for the child. You all are having sex. So you understand this our society today. And every day I see a revolving door. You understand? Every day I see this. I could tell you, it's just a revolving door. That's what's going on in our country. God ain't happy with us at all. And we could pay a big price. You hear how the blood is going to be high as the horse will bridle? Huh? We won't believe in the PLB and the F&M. And then we won't believe in the forged religion of Christianity. And that's why I say, if Christianity is used in the right way, in this 21/7, we have all these Christians and all these churches in the country. We is committed to God, and it's a Christian nation. It's a Christmas nation. Now, there's some good Christian people out there. Now, don't get it wrong, some good pastors. But to tell you the truth, the bad outdoing the good, and I'm going to say this, Christian Christmas. And you see what happened at Christmas? We don't celebrate it no more. You want to see the religion dying? Huh? But now it's time for us to help our people. All kind of people get in this country. The police can't help us. The police come after the fact. The police can't protect when a young man is going to take a gun and put it in his hand. I can take this one call. Go ahead, you're on Inside the Inner City on Garden Radio 96.9 FM.
I'd like to speak to Scrooge.
If you could talk some sense, go ahead.
Hi. Good evening, Scrooge. How are you?
I'm fine. Good night.
Good night. Man, I've been listening to you all the way home, coming home, man. It's so real, the things you're saying. You have a whole set of people in this country that are out of touch with the things you're saying. I can identify with some of them.
Yes, sir.
A whole lot of what you said I can identify with. And, this scourge really came into play during the cocaine era.
Yes, sir.
Because it caused people to have a warped way of thinking, just thinking everything fell out of the sky. You didn't have to work. You had fellas. I know some fellas who ain't work yet all their life.
Selling drugs and doing what?
Right. And they made a living. There was so much drugs going through this country. Guns, drugs, smuggling people.
And
they don't have a trade.
And no unwanted children was made. Remember teenage pregnancy?
Yeah.
Unwanted kids, and that's what we're facing right now. Go ahead, sir. Sorry.
And the thing with the teenage pregnancy, if they're serious about stopping that, when the young girl comes in the hospital, you ask her who is the man who got her impregnated. That's if they're serious. But see, because the person is a Jimmy Slicker or Momo Shala, what don't count. They don't go behind that. But if you let you or myself or some other prominent people go and get a young girl pregnant, man, we be on international news, much less national news.
Yes, sir.
But because the fellas are already in gangs or selling drugs or they smoking and they this and they that, the mother just leaves that alone or the father leaves it alone. But if we don't start somewhere with this teenage pregnancy, it's just going to continue. But back to what you were saying, I identify so much with the things you're saying about our society. Until it is, I don't know how we're going to reach the people in authority to make them understand. Because I know one time me and my buddy, we went to the police station and picked up drugs. We went there downtown by, where they call it, where you do the shuffle and all that.
Yes, sir.
We
Bank
went
lane
there to the
shuffle.
police station and the policeman brought the coke out to us. So they don't know these things. They just see the good part, the fancy lights, like what you see at Junkanoo and all the glitter. But it's an underground world that is here.
Yep.
And it's not going anywhere because if you take this underground system out, I think our economy will collapse.
Yep.
The whole world has an underground system.
Yes, sir.
But the police have to get more control of it. For one thing, the marijuana thing. Why they don't take the crime out of that and make that legal? Make that legal, man, so you don't be locking up people or running up and down behind people who smuggling marijuana. The fellas them will have to stop bringing in marijuana, coming down here in speedboats, trying to smuggle marijuana. All that will stop. Because the fellas right here growing and making the money. Why they can't understand these things? I don't know what, we put these people in charge of our lives to guide us and say they're protecting us. They know what's best for us. But it's no common sense. And it irks me sometimes when I hear them speak and they talk about how they love you and they love this, and it's just a matter of doing this and doing that. No, take the crime out of take the crime out of it, that especially the marijuana. Now, coke is something else. But take the crime out of marijuana, and you wouldn't have all this trouble.
Yes, sir.
That alone, because some fellas only deal in marijuana.
Yes, sir.
So if you take the crime out of that, you eliminate a whole lot of fellas. They got to go look for trade.
Yes, sir.
But they don't think, man. I don't know. It's like they're scared to make a move. And they don't care how much of us die, get maimed, or lose our family members, or whatever. They don't care.
And they ain't gonna mess it either, sir, because this
is
out of control.
Decision to make. I don't know why anybody need all these committees and all of that to make a decision. They've been now talking about this now for almost 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
When you gonna make a decision?
So how much people done dead in the 10 years you think, sir?
Oh, we gonna be doing 100 a year and more.
So,
we're doing 100 a year and more now.
And so we just go from January to December, and we start
we
over.
get to the point now we're doing 2 a day.
Okay.
We carry 2 one time.
Okay. And these ain't the same people, you know, sir?
No,
the same people who committed the murder, saying the same people?
Younger people.
Younger people, just different guys in different areas who just have an argument.
Why can't they see what you and I see? And it don't take no education to see it.
There you go, sir.
It takes common sense and the
see.
willpower.
Yes, sir.
And they can't figure that out.
We finish.
No, yeah. They want this country to go, it seems like.
Yes, sir.
But all they doing is skylocking.
Skylocking in our lives.
The man in Singapore, when he became the president, he said all drug addicts, if you don't train yourself in, and they come up on you, they shoot you.
Yes, sir.
And he did that for about 5 or 6, and the crime level.
Call like company right now. Yes, sir.
It's not gone, but it drops tremendously.
Yes. There's certain things we can do.
Yeah,
if we
there's
commit
certain things we can do.
If we start now.
They're always pontificating.
Because, you have this new minister comes in, he don't like the plan of the former minister, and then we stop it, cancel. Urban renewal come in, this cancel. And we have all the
And they think something wrong with you because you said legalize marijuana. But that would eliminate, because people smoking anyhow.
Yes.
And they in the road. I just asked the fellas, they stand up in the road. I think y'all think this thing legally.
Okay. And so they ain't taking it serious. And the police are in the road, right, sir?
Yes.
Because that's how society coming less receptive to authority.
They're not afraid of the police pulling up on them.
No, because the guys, them, conflict. Like how all the gunshot, it gets you get tough. You get tough. You don't even worry about authority no more. Only when you get catch. But other than that, you come right back and do the same mistake again, sir.
Yes. And they be riding three deep in the car.
Yeah.
Everybody here, this every which way. And they look like they're supposed to be in jail. And they haven't learned yet. Do not go riding with all your friends in the car and you're smoking marijuana.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Only 1 or 2 the most you need to be in because if the police see 3 of y'all in the car,
yes.
I'll stop you as if I was the police.
Yes, sir. Thanks very much.
They haven't learned that yet. It's some simple things we can do around here and share information.
Yes.
We don't need no specialists to come
here.
No.
We have all the solutions.
To tell us what we need.
We just need a continuous program that do not get canceled when we elect a new government, if we do.
In Japan, any policy that's put in place goes on for 20 years. I hear you talking about the 20 years.
So how, I on to something, mate.
Japanese news.
Okay, I didn't watch it, but I just I knew, based on what's going on, it's a 20-year plan.
That's what they do in Japan.
Yes, it had to be a 20-year plan. And continuous.
That's even short because you need a whole generation to die out now.
Yes.
To get rid of this way of thinking.
And we just educate the rest, teach them about money management, teach them about family values and stuff like that, get in the schools, get the prisons, and we start from that. That's right, sir.
Save your money, buy a piece of property.
Yes, what it is to get married. What it is to get married. And then we have those who commit the crime and serious crime. We use them for example, and we hang them on the fort and explain to this generation come up, if this the path you take.
Listen, a human being responds to 3 things.
Go ahead.
You can talk to some human beings. Some human beings must be made to pay monetarily.
Yes.
And some must feel pain.
Yes.
That's the only way to deal with human beings.
So
that is why you have dictators.
Yes. So
nobody question their authority.
And they get it done.
And you get it done, and you have control for a very long time.
They look like that better than democracy.
That it is. Believe it or not.
Kim Jong-un, Vladimir Putin.
You ever been to Cuba?
I never been, but I heard all kind of stories.
You
Yes.
every junction. And I asked a friend of mine one time, how many murders you all had that year, that particular year? He said about 6 or 7, and they were lovers, lovers quarrels.
Yes.
And we here got this little country, and Cuba got 11 million or more.
Mm-hmm.
And we only got about near 500,000. We got over 100.
And we are a conflict zone. We are a conflict zone.
Mind you, they don't live the way they
No.
don't have the standard of living, but I wonder which one is best.
I think they are standard of
Because
living
we
best.
live in fear.
Yeah, because you can't even go. Yeah,
And if you go to Cuba, you can walk down the road any hour of the night.
you walk down the road, you pick up corn.
For God's sake, this road here. But we have to look at these different societies. This democracy and liberation ain't working for everybody.
No, ain't working. It destroying us, you know.
And even if you're gonna have it, you gotta tighten the noose
Yes.
on this young generation,
Yes, sir.
man.
Thank you very
Tighten
much.
it up. Some of us will have to die so others may live.
Yes, sir. What's I can tell you now? What sense a teacher in school telling the kid, stop writing on the table? Valentino, stop writing on the table. Kid still writing on the table. Valentino, please, Valentino, listen to me. This is your last warning, Valentino. Stop writing on the table. Do you think the teacher need to talk a third time?
No.
You
You,
don't-
must be made to feel now.
So when he get a little spank on his hip, what happened then? He respond right, and he ain't gonna start.
You don't hear about it that no more.
I tell you, Mr. Noble did it to me, and I was one of the roughest. I was leading the gang at C.I. Walker, and I just went to C.I. Walker in 1991, 92. And I was leading the gang in C.I. Walker, and Mr. Noble put it on me, and I could never, ever think of putting graffiti ever again on C.I. Walker wall.
Say that. And you respect the man. 'cause
Yeah,
he
after
was
that, I
trying to
respect
do
him.
For you.
Because I understand what he did for me, and he showed me the man authority, which is very important.
Yes, and what you did was wrong.
Yes,
and
sir.
he punished you.
Yes, sir.
And see, I was like you one time ago, but when they say if you spare the rod, you spoil the child,
Right.
and you bend the tree when it's young.
Yes, sir.
Because sometimes later on in life, the tree will come back straight.
Yes, sir.
You could go like how you went astray.
And I come back straight.
Yes. The same thing I could tell you. I'll tell you my story one day.
Yes,
The
sir.
same thing with me. I'm home in my bed. I wouldn't most go out.
Yes, sir. You don't pick up
But
no
some
corn,
of us, because we were punished seriously in our young days, we now see the benefit of what they did to us.
That's why I stayed in majority inside if you want to live. You can't go all these nightclub and
But
stuff.
that shouldn't be. And we call ourselves a free society. We're not free.
We're not free. We're in prison in this country from one another.
As a man who used to be on the street, and don't go to bed sometimes for 2 days, I'm afraid to go out there now.
You want to pick up no corn?
No. No. I will be in my bed.
Because you know.
Get up the next morning and go to work and do what I'm supposed
Cause
to
you,
do and get back.
you come to this assumption. You don't have to do no one nothing now to get hurt, to get killed.
That's right. That's right.
You just gonna be walking.
That's right, man. And that you can't. We're not free.
But the commissioner of police and the authorities, the minister of national security, saying that crime is not under control.
But the thing, the sad thing about people like you, they want to silence you.
Yes, sir.
And one day they're gonna silence you because you talking so much truth.
Well, I wish them the best of luck because they can't break me, sir.
No, I mean,
I know.
The radio, the airwaves.
I mean, if they
That's
do,
how they're silenced.
yes, sir. I agree. But me signing a contract here, and they told me they want my personal experience.
Whether you sign a contract or not.
Well, it don't matter to me, sir, because I don't made my point.
They will silence you
Yes,
one
sir.
way or another.
Yes, but I didn't do.
Because you letting the public know too much things that go on in this.
I didn't do enough damage, and I'm going to continue some good works.
Yes, and what you're doing is healthy.
Yes, sir.
Because the people need to know. So when these elections come around,
Yes.
they can ask questions.
Yes.
Listening to your show, a lot of people learning a lot of things about this little country.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Believe it or not. But
Yes,
people
sir.
like you, they want to silence you.
I agree.
You see the boy who comes on a Saturday morning,
Yeah.
the little fellow with the funny voice.
That's
They silence him.
wow.
And he is the fellow who used to do his research before he come on the show, and he knew what he was talking about.
Wow.
People who know what they're talking about and do their research, they silence them because they want to keep the public dumb.
Yeah. Wow. But anyway, I only have over 2 more minutes, so I want to.
Yeah, but anyway, man.
Thanks.
Good show tonight, and I like it. I'm listening to you.
Thanks. You did an awesome job as well, sir. You
Okay,
gave some
thank you.
you gave some great comments, and I sure the general public appreciate every word you said. Yeah, that's how my life was, And listen, I ain't supposed to be here. I supposed to be in dead so many times because I tell you, I used to be holding my chest, looking at my head because bullet grazed me, and then sometimes my friends on the side of me, Keanu Roberts got killed on the side of me, and I say my friend Terry Marshall get shot on the side of me, JP get shot on the side of me, my boy Sidney Thompson. He's not good because he still has a bullet lodged in his neck from over 20 years ago, and now it's taking effect on him. So, man, listen. And today, this stuff is still going on in our country. The police can't help us. All the police can do is go on patrol, get some information ahead of time, and probably slow down the murder rate by taking guns off the street. So when you see the police take 300 guns off the streets or 400 guns off the street, they basically save close to 200 lives, because if each one of those guns get in the right place in hand and used in a particular way, it could take a life. So when you see police take those guns out the hands of at-risk young men, it reduces our murder count. Because honestly, if those weapons stay in the hands of those who were caught with them, our murder count in this little Bahamas would be roughly about 250 to 300 murders per year. You understand? And that's how serious it is in the country. We need community police to be on the streets, just like the gentleman stated in Cuba. But we also need development plan for each community. We need development plan where we get the pastors to go to the church. We need development plans where we have youth programs, scholarship given out at the schools. Training centers are built, teaching agriculture, fisheries, different plumbing, electrical, robotics, so that the kids could open their minds, and also give them the scholarship, and then also have someone there to guide them. And then you teach the kids. We need family planning in the school to teach them what it is to have a child. What is the reason you're having sex? You're not having sex because I attracted to you, and you're beautiful, and you're handsome, and then we go hanky-panky. We have to let them know that when you have sex and you're going to do it unprotected, you can create a human being. And then you got to be responsible for this, he or she. And they have to be trained in a way to know what to do. We're going to work, we're going to take turns, and we're going to plan to say in the next 10, 15 years, we're going to build a house, and we want to be together, and we want to help one another, and to nurture one another. Whether you're a boyfriend or girlfriend, because it can be the same thing. So we have to start doing these things. We have to start addressing our young girls in school, how to wear proper attire, because these girls must be showing all their front, all their breasts. Some of these girls I watch on Facebook, they practically naked, are going to events. Ladies, you're beautiful. Your body is the temple of the Lord. Okay? When you violate your body, the Father would take away your beauty. The Father would make you sick. Okay? You, yourself, cause bad things to happen to you. You don't need to be showing all your front, all your breasts. You're done beautiful. You're wearing all these false hair and eyelashes. You're already beautiful. You don't need all of that. Don't let no one trick you. You understand? Some of these things you're putting on your skin are giving you all cancer. You understand? And you're killing yourself or getting yourself disease. And this to the ladies. Some of them taking these shots where they're not seeing their period. Ladies, don't be a fool. You need your monthly discharge to get rid of that bad blood. God give you that for a reason. Now you're going to let the scientists and doctors give you shots where you taking medication that stop you from having your period. What is going to happen to that bad blood inside your body? You don't think it's going to give you cancer. That's why so much people having skin cancer and breast cancer. You understand? These are the reasons, people. Ladies, some women didn't see that period from they taking these shots and stuff like that for 6, 7, 8 months. You understand? But that blood is staying inside you. It's supposed to be discharged. Think about what I'm saying to you, females, and stop being so... Why you females are becoming so manly? You're becoming more aggressive than man nowadays. You know, like y'all can't beat no man. Not physically. If a man get mad, if a man get mad, there's no way a woman physically could beat a man. But the woman irritates the man and get the man mad and he acts with the character. You understand? And that's what it because the problem. When you get the man with the character, he loses his mind and he let him strangle you, let him stop you, let him shooting you. Because you're so aggressive and disrespectful. And the same way we have a lot of decent women who man take advantage of as well. The same way as the female taking advantage of the man are very abusive. You understand? That's how serious this is how serious our country is. So my condolences goes out to all those who have been killed so far the year. I just want to say to each and every one of you, preserve your life, stay away from argument. Watch these murders that happen, apply it to your life, and don't never think it cannot happen to you. Until we as a country start putting the proper measures, continuous programs, this murder is going to continue to hit each and every one of us every day until we reach the point where we have so much anger in the country. It's just going to be a non-stop, like what happened in Haiti. You understand? Where the people are so mad that there's no government, the police can't do nothing. And if we don't watch out, our country can end up just like Haiti. Okay? We have a chance. Don't say I won you, I already give you my background. And listen, I was a high-profile criminal. I had Douglas Anna, Worry Sanders, BK Pondeby Jr., Cash, all the serious, Paul, the late great Paul Farquharson, former commissioner of police. I had commissioners of police, Green Slade, who used to personally send officers to arrest me when I was into criminal activities. That's how serious, high-profile criminal I was, okay? So what I'm saying to you, it's the truth, and I want each and every one of you to understand. We have to have a continuous programs, non-stop, whether PLB comes in or FNM come in. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the show, and I'll see you next week on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Valentino Brown, signing out. Good night, everybody.
Represent Bahamian people, I from Nassau, Bahamas, big up Bintan, bro. Boy, I from Bintan, bro. Don't take no back talk, no bribe or no joke. If you find fire, you definitely find smoke.